What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it's Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about rumors surrounding the Arsenal. Now, apologies for being slightly late. I was waiting for AFTV to be done, and then I had to do a couple of other bits here and there and to get some stories straight. So I know people will be bitching in the chat room because I can see when I started there was 41 messages. I'm like, oh no, people are probably going to be bitching. So apologies now, but I hope you guys are well. Please do stick a like on this video as we go through these stories. I hope you enjoy. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. You get something from me every single day on this channel, other than Saturday, because even God had to rest. So yeah, so hopefully you'll enjoy the content and comes to you. From next week, there's going to be further changes to the show as I add a layer of membership to the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. You enjoy the content that you'll get on there. It'd be very much a little bit more. It'd be less Chig, more Chris on there. So hopefully you guys enjoy that a little bit more. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk Thomas Partey because apparently I can't seem to leave this man alone. It seems like every single day something happens at Partey. I hope Arsenal are on the case. I cannot describe how much I need Arsenal to be on the case. So this is twofold, really. First of all, let's go with the main story that broke around this, which was Thomas Partey's good friend, international teammate, Kazim Nahua. Nahu? Nahu. Nahu sounds better. And he basically has backed the midfielder to join Arsenal from Atletico Madrid. Oh, actually, I just realized there's three elements to this story now since my update yesterday. Okay, so let's start with this one. So basically, this guy is supposed to be like one of Thomas Partey's best friends. Every time they are on international duty, more often than not, they'll share the same room. So he's good friends with this guy, like really good, tight friends with this guy. And he basically says that he'd be happy for his friend to join Arsenal. He says Atletico Madrid is a very good club, so he is playing. So he's so he is playing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Arsenal are also one of the biggest. Who told TB3 on Instagram. For me, it is a decision because for Atletico Madrid, is the same as playing for Arsenal. If only, right? I know that's what you guys are thinking. The two teams always made the same category in the league, fighting for third and fourth place in the Champions League. Again, if only, if only. But we all know that the Premier League is the best league in the world. So if he joins Arsenal, I'll be very happy for him. And it's just, I mean, it goes to show you. Now, in addition to this, I know some people were doubting. You probably sat there thinking, all right, how big is Arsenal in Africa? Well, it's funny you should say that. Very recently, the Ghana president, Nana Akufo Addo, apologies to my Ghanaian brothers, I don't know, I should be able to read this a lot clearer, was asked a surprise question by a fan as he gave his speech yesterday. Basically, Cipolo, a football fan, presumably an Arsenal supporter, asked about the current Thomas Partey rumours that have been doing the rounds for some time. This was reported by the Telegraph. Oh, yes, okay. Sorry, just trying to get to the question. Da, 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 da. We have famously seen Wenger out. Yeah. Okay. Damn it, I thought there was actually a quote here. Yeah, no, there is a quote. Mr. President, will Thomas Partey sign for Arsenal? Oh my goodness. But this is asking it to the Ghana president. So when I say the influence in Africa when it comes to Arsenal is a serious thing. It is a serious thing. I remember a similar sort of thing happened when Kanu was just about to sign for Arsenal. I was in Nigeria at the time, on holiday. I was born here, raised here. But people were, what? You were born in? No, I was in Africa at the time. I was in the middle of a month holiday. I was going to say vacation. Am I American? And basically, there were all these rumors for a good couple of weeks about Arsenal. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how do you know about how do you know about Arsenal? And it was like a massive thing that Kanu was going to sign for Arsenal. Kanu, and in my mind, I was like, no way. And then when it was announced, it was on the front page, not the back page, the front page of one of the Nigerian papers there, of Wenger with Kanu, Arsenal shirt. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, so trust me, it's always a big thing when an African, especially more when a West African joins. It's like a big deal when they move to like a Premier League and move to a big club. I said this was threefold, so let me talk about the third element to this. There was a story that broke on Football London that Thomas Partey actually favours a move to Arsenal over PSG. I mean, surely, I know what you guys are sat there thinking, Chig, why are you getting your hopes up, brother? You know better than this. You know better than this. And I do know better than this. But sometimes, just sometimes, there is no smoke without fire, people. And I just feel like there's something in this. I feel like there's something in this. You know, somebody asked me once, right? He goes to me, somebody asked me once, Chick, what percentage is it do you think there is of Arsenal or Partey joining? And I said 25%. The following day, I said 12%. If you had to ask me that question again, I say 35%. Genuinely, 35%. By the way, let me pause that. Let me especially thank Mr. Chris New. Thank you, my bro. Your BT thing allowed me to watch UFC the other day. So bless you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to use that, brother. I appreciate it. So yeah, honestly, in my opinion, there is a reasonable chance this could happen. He's such a good player, and I'm still yet to see. For those people saying, "Oh, Chick, come on, get real. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." I still don't see the boy denying it. I still don't see the boy denying it. So yeah, it is what it is. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. What's all this sleepy chick shit about? I'm not sleepy. All right. I'll let you guys debate that. Let me know what you think. I ain't gonna be. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because if let me tell you something. If Partey signs, I'll do a spoiler alert right now. The first minute of that video, Smug Chig, and those real ones will know who Smug Chig is. Smug Chig will return, sunglasses, sipping tea, and that's all I'm gonna do for a minute. I ain't even gonna say a word. And your Omars and all the people saying it ain't gonna happen, I want you front and center. Front and center. So we'll see. We will see. Okay. Where do we go now? Let's talk about this can't even pronounce his name. Komat, is that his name? The Basel defender, the defender from Basel, however you call it, the Swiss team. He's the latest defender we're being linked with. He's a defender that I could see Arsenal signing purely on the basis that he's being quoted for 2 million. He's 22 years old, so it does make you think 2 million, and he's 22 years old. How good could he be? But you know, Arsenal like looking at deals like this. Don't know anything about him, but he's the latest defender being linked with Arsenal. He's set to be one of two defenders that Arsenal will sign this summer, obviously alongside Mari. And those two are set to replace the outgoing Socrates and Mustafi that are obviously leaving the club. Not to mention that I would suspect one more will probably go, given that Saliba will also be rejoining us as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. I'm a little worried that if that's all we opt to go for, that Arteta thinks that's good enough. I understand not necessarily wanting to go for Upamecano if Upamecano is going to be a crazy price, but surely you would hope that we would go and get one more. I personally don't know if I've seen enough in Mari to sign him. I wouldn't, based on what I've seen. But then we're not the managers, so maybe Arteta's seen something in training that he believes would bring something different. I wouldn't just sign him purely on the basis he's left-footed. Like, surely there's got to be another reason, you know? But what do you guys think? Let me know. This guy, I don't know a lot about, other than his name is Array Comert. And yeah, he's being targeted. I want to quickly talk about this. I was going to leave this to the end, but I'll talk about this now. I had a couple of people tweet me today going, Chig, have you seen Arsene Wenger's latest comments? In my mind, I'm like, oh no, what's the old man said now, right? And basically, the thing that was having people up in arms was that Wenger's best signing was not Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Sorry, best January signing. Wenger, for some reason, I don't know where this came from. He was in an interview. Somebody asked him what his best January signing was, and he said that Nwankwo Kanu was his best January signing. And my kind of response was, yeah, and one of these people have won a Premier League title and is an invincible, and it ain't Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So you guys know. For anyone who doesn't know, Nwankwo Kanu is my favorite Arsenal player, someone that I've admired for a long, long time. Yes, a little part because he's Nigerian, a little part because he was such a skillful player, a little part because he was an Olympic gold medalist. Yeah, people forget that. Olympic champs, baby. So yeah, of course, like those are all elements to it, of course. But for me, there's no doubt in my mind that Nwankwo Kanu was the best January signing. He was the best. It's as simple as that. He was a fantastic player. So one of the more pivotal figures of African football. And as you heard me mention earlier, was someone that we signed, and it was a big surprise to everyone. It was when Arsenal actually used to conclude deals in somewhat of a timely manner. A lot of that was due to David Dein being on board. Yeah, he did. I think for me, he had an impact as he wasn't with us for a huge amount of time, but for the time he was here, I thought he was a brilliant backup striker. Henry certainly owes part of his career to Kanu. That's Henry's words, by the way, not mine. And yeah, I think there's no debate to that. Anyway, let's go on to a couple more interesting stories. Arsenal have decided that their number one target striker-wise is Jonathan David, the Ghent striker who scored a gang of goals this season. I've spoken about this guy on a few occasions. I know that lots of people were expecting Arsenal to move for the Celtic striker. I must admit, so was I. But it seems as though Jonathan David seems to be the option. Yeah. What do I think about that? It'd be interesting to see why we're targeting the striker. Are we targeting the striker to replace Aubameyang? Have they given up on Aubameyang? The stories on Aubameyang for the last couple of days seem to have quietened down a little bit. That in itself is quite interesting. I'm wondering what is happening there. I'm hoping, praying, like I said on Sunday, that I'm hoping that both Saka and Aubameyang stay. But we also need to make plans if he doesn't stay. Is the Gank striker the way to go? I think whatever way you decide to go is going to be a risk. Another story I heard today was that Arsenal have privately targeted Mario Cardi to sign him just outright, no swap deal, no nothing, sign him outright if Aubameyang goes. So essentially, use the cash that they get for Aubameyang and just put it on a Cardi. Just so you know, Arsenal has set a price for Aubameyang. They did that, I think it was last week. Um, Despite all the rumours you're hearing about them lowering the price, apparently that's all BS. That they're looking for at least 50 million euros to commit to complete the deal. So we'll see what happens. I think from our perspective, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to raise some money. We're going to have to sell some players because, you know, the club are going to be struggling this season. They're going to be struggling to really spend a lot of mullah this season. And that's why we are being linked to the likes of Emre Kumart, a player that no one's ever heard of. You always worry when someone is signed from Basel. You think, oh, how good of a player is he? Because the last couple of experiences we've had of players that have signed from Basel is Granit Xhaka, albeit he was signed by a German team, but he played for Basel, and Mohamed El Nene. So it doesn't, it's not exactly screaming feel a league, but we'll see what happens. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I see my guy, Black Scorpions in the house. I suppose this is the time where I give you a quick reminder of some shows. If you see Black Scorpion in the house, that is my co-host for the Combat Show. Me and him do an MMA show every single Friday, 9:30, uh, talking about everything. And yes, we will be covering Conor McGregor's drunken rant on Twitter and much, much more. So make sure you do catch that on every single Friday, the Combat Show. The link is in the description right now, the Combat Show. Chick Flicks is also a link in the description where I talk movies, reviews. So make sure you check that out. On that channel, I'm also going to do something a little different. And I'm testing it out on my work people first. If it works, I'm going to put it on my movie channel. Now that's got you a little engaged. Make sure you do give me a subscribe on that, and it should be interesting. I'll let you know after Thursday what that thing is, because hopefully it's either gone really terribly or it's gone really well. So I'll let you know then. Anything else? Anything else? Do subscribe to this channel as well. I bring you this show every single day, other than Saturday, because, like I said earlier, even the Lord God needed a day break. So that's my day break is Saturday. So make sure you do join me every single day where I bring you transfer rumours Monday to Friday, and then on Sunday a podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Next weekend I will be setting up my membership. I'll be doing a few more little pre-recorded stuff that you guys will enjoy, where you get to know a little bit less Chig, a little bit more Chris. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And yes, Chris New, I am watching it right now. Hella good. I will be reviewing it. I will be reviewing it. All right. I think that's my plugs out the way. So let's continue the show. Let's talk about. Sorry, just go through some stories now. Yeah, let's talk about this story. Supposedly, Arsenal are interested in Gomez. Now, if you're wondering who the heck Gomez is, you may remember Arsenal signed this kid. Sorry, I'm getting the story up just so I can quote where this came from. Gomez is a Manchester United midfielder. So you probably now sat there thinking, huh? What do you mean? Who's Gomez? Right? Let me get the story up so I don't look like an idiot. Bear with me. Hold on one sec. Where are you? Where are you? I just saw you. Uh, 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 Damn it, damn it, damn it. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. I hate dead air. And I'm giving you guys so much dead air right now. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Usually more prepared than this, and I can't know where the story's gone and disappeared to. 2 secs. Hold on. Arsenal linked to Gomez. So, from what I read briefly of the story, he's 19 years old. United is out of contract this summer. So Arsenal obviously in an opportunistic mood. They're looking to pick him up. I think Arsenal's like the whole idea behind this is that Arsenal understand that they are soon going to be. There you go, Angel Gomez. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think they soon understand that with Mesut Ozil leaving, um, they are going to need an attacking midfielder. They believe for whatever reason this Angel Gomez fits the bill. I don't know a lot about this kid, but I know that he's out of contract this summer. He's a short lad, though, very, very short lad. So it'd be interesting to see. Flipping that, people are DMing me and stuff as well, just making life extra complicated. Sorry, let's get out. All right, let me pick up this damn story. If I focus on the story and not focus on the dead air that I'm giving you, lot, it will help. Right, yes, here we go. Finally found a freaking report. All right. So, yeah, Arsenal and Barcelona are interested in signing this guy. This is being reported by the Daily Mail. He's 19 years old. He's out of contract in June, so enter Arsenal, I guess. Um, Basically, under these rules, United have privately given themselves until next week, specifically next week, Thursday, to attempt to convince the youngster to put pen to paper and sign a new deal. He has been added. Arsenal, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund all want to sign Gomez for free this summer. Gomez himself has made 2 substitute appearances for United so far, and has played 3 times in the Europa League. He's played 25 minutes for the Red Devils during the 2018-29 season and played twice the season before. Um, so, yeah, I mean, clearly the reason why he's been linked with Arsenal, like I say, I think Arteta's privately looking for internal replacements, or cheap replacements for Mesut Ozil when he eventually leaves next summer. There's an argument to be had that we don't have a lot of attacking midfielders in the club at the moment. So you can understand why are looking to target such a man. From my perspective, I don't know enough about the kid, but what I will say is that he is being linked with a high caliber amount of teams. Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund. You know for a fact when Borussia Dortmund starts sniffing around a youngster, they must be decent. Whether we have a chance of getting him or not is a completely separate question. I guess it depends on how attractive our terms can be. But I see this is the type of signing that I would imagine most people could say, yeah, I could see Arsenal being linked with Gomez, to be fair, for the simple reason that he's free. But what would you guys? I mean, does anyone know about him? Does anyone, do we have any United fans? Can they give us some information about what Gomez is like? Is there anybody who's seen him play? Do you like the look of him? What's your guys' opinions on this? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Why do people keep saying I'm sleepy? I don't understand. Can you guys not hear me? Like, what's the whole joke I'm not getting? It's getting my nerves. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below. I don't think there's any other story I particularly want to talk about right now. So I will come into the chat room and just see people talking about, oh, it looks sleepy. All right, am I actually sleeping or am I talking? I'm talking. What's the problem? Um, Let me just see if there's any other story I missed out on. I missed talking to you out on. Oh yeah, I did want to talk to you guys about this. Dennis Suarez. So Dennis Suarez has come out. Do you remember him? Remember that guy that we signed last January? Yeah. So Dennis Suarez came out and made a lot of interesting comments about Emre and about what he was told when he signed for Arsenal, and obviously what ended up happening. And generally, it was a lot of interesting advice. Sorry, a lot of interesting bars that he spit. He's obviously playing for Celta Vigo now these days, but he's obviously very disappointed that his time at Arsenal was so unsuccessful. Interestingly, there was a rumor that when he signed for Arsenal, and I do remember this, you've been linked with Inter Milan and another club, and he was told to sign for Arsenal by Raul and by Emre, allegedly, because what he said to them at the time, what they said to him at the time is, listen, we don't have any money right now, but our intention is to sign you on a permanent deal. But why don't you essentially come on board? And what our intention is for us to use you in the wide positions, specifically where Iwobi played and where Mkhitaryan played. And Suarez was like, well, I mean, it's not really my position. I mean, I can make it work, but it's not really where I play. And then obviously, what essentially happened was he was fit for 1 week, the first week he was signed, and then he's been carrying an injury ever since. And he said that he essentially, it really surprised him that in England, basically, when you're injured, it's not always announced that you're injured. The culture seems to be that you're expected to play through injuries. Whereas obviously in Spain, if you're injured very quickly, you're taken out of contention, people let everyone know that you're injured and it's not a problem. So it was a real shock to the culture, which he found, which I found pretty interesting. I wanted to quote him because I didn't want to misquote him, but that was essentially the gist of the story. But basically, he said, "Look, this is what he said. This is quoting him now. Unai told me he was looking for a winger where Alex Iwobi or Henrik Mkhitaryan played." Suarez told The Athletic. It's not my best position, but I can play on the wing. He insisted to me, come here, you will play. Don't stay in Barcelona. Play, 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 and we can sign you. I wanted Arsenal to sign me, but the club were not able to at the time. Instead, they said, come here and get continuity. And then when you have a year remaining on your contract, we can sign you. So, okay, it sounded good. The truth is, I rejected other teams. Real Betis, Sevilla, AC Milan. Oh, it's AC Milan. Okay. AC Milan, they all wanted me. I took the risk of going on loan. I could have signed for those clubs on a 4 or 5 year deal. All right, man. So that part, I'm like, all right. That's how much I wanted to work at Arsenal. So people don't fully, so people don't know what fully happened. I think the story does go on. I know it was a fairly long interview because there was another part of the interview that said that he disagreed with Emre that the Arsenal fans got him sacked. So yeah, but that was I found that really interesting. See, I found another story talking about his injury. Here we go. Here we go. This is from the same interview. I know it is. Yeah, from the Athletic. Suarez admits he was fully fit for the first week of his Arsenal career. I felt it getting worse. After the match against Bate Borisov, I had incredible pain. Every movement, every change of direction, every shot. I tried to train through the pain. It became unsustainable. I was in a state. I was in a state to play at my best. Unai could not play me. He knew I was not even near 50% fit. Oh, Arsenal were injured players, I tell you. People started asking what's going on with Dennis. He's all right, but he isn't playing. He is on the bench. He plays 15 minutes here or there, but I was in big pain. At halftime of games, when other substitutes went out to do main drills on the pitch, I was in the dressing room doing a ton of different exercises. Yeah, I remember. I remember there were a couple of times that me and Lee would do watch-alongs, and Suarez would apparently be on the bench. You used to see six substitutes train, and you never saw Suarez. I always found that really weird. I guess we now know why. Um, at halftime, when others do the rest of them, Suarez feels some guilt that Emre and Raul Sanelli were feeling the pressure as his loan failed to pay off. I was a signing of Raul and Unai, and I wanted to prove myself and repay them. No one wanted to play more than me, but the situation was unsustainable. I wanted to live up to their expectations. I'm sorry because I do not think Arsenal supporters truly understand the situation I was experiencing. They didn't see me play, so it was hard to evaluate the loan. Um, in England, it's different. In Spain, when you have an injury or a problem, the club puts a statement out in the press. In England, it's very different. Injuries seem more secret. There's more mystery. I was the first to be desperate to play. Unai and I had lots of discussions about how I could play, but he could see himself I was not right. I was pushing myself. Suarez feels no ill will towards Arsenal and hopes that Mikel Arteta will succeed. Arsenal have incredible potential to grow. I was there for 5 months and could sense that. They have quality players, financial potential, and a passionate fan base. We have an unusual fan base, I will say that. There are conditions that should bring those are the conditions that should bring success and return Arsenal to where they were. Well, I mean, he was very magnanimous in his interview. Clearly, he likes the club. He has some regret that it didn't pay off, and it didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. Who knows? Maybe the guy is a good player, but we certainly didn't see anywhere near enough of him. And just typical Arsenal, playing players through injuries and then being shock horror why all of a sudden that player is then ruled out for a season. I'm sure that happens a lot more than we think. You used to hear stories about how Koscielny was basically playing injured. And for some reason, Wenger would just insist that he plays. Ramsey, same sort of thing. And again, with Ramsey was one of them players that always used to have an injury just as he started to hit form. And then he'd have an injury that ruled himself out for about 3-4 weeks. And then it's back to he like Rob Holding is one of them players where when he got injured, it takes him ages to then get back up to speed up to where he was. Rob Holding is very much the same. Rob Holding, he will start playing to a purple patch. He gets injured, and it takes him ages to get back to where he was. So it is what it is. We are where we are. There are other stories here, but I'll save that for tomorrow. Before I go, let me come into the chat room and see what you lot are saying. It is 9:57 as I record this. Let's do a solid 13 minutes, shall we? 10 past 10, I'm out of here. So make sure you ask me whatever you want to ask me. Put it in the chat room. If I've missed any donations, please accept my apologies. Let me know, and I'll put it up. As I always say, donations are amazing. I always reinvest it back into the show. I bought so much stuff with it. A light. I've got my tripod around here. I think it's over there. It's in the seat over there. I've got so much stuff. StreamYard, things like that I reinvest donations into. But what's even better than donations is that like. Make sure you drill that like button so other people can see it, subscribe, and So if you can help me, that would be fantastic. 10 minutes, let's go. Let's have a chit chat. See what you lot are saying. Elliot, I see you. I see you, my guy. I believe you, Chigari Partey. What about the updated Disasi rumours? Disasi overcut Convert. Would love to see a Canadian finally on the Arsenal. Yeah, I prefer Disasi. I think he's a better quality player. Um, I think maybe it's probably a little bit unfair for me to say that due to the fact that, for all I know, maybe Convert is a steal. But for what I've seen of him, uh, he looks okay. He looks all right. I'm not sure I would gamble on it though. You see my guy. Please do fire up the like button, like he says. Would appreciate it. I wasn't going to address this, but I guess I should. Being having a platform, being a black guy should. Um, for anyone who doesn't know, this is why Twitter. Sorry, I know Twitter to be quite a scummy place, but now Insta seems to have taken over. Uh, for anyone who doesn't know, on Insta yesterday, some random geezer just decided to just send Ian Wright for no apparent reason, just a bunch of racist tirade. Just went on a racist tirade. There's loads of comments calling him the N word, telling him to go home, usual lazy racist stuff that people come out with. Attention seeking, hurt by somebody, I don't know. Maybe his black friend, yes, believe it or not, he has a black friend posing in a picture on Instagram. Maybe his black friend gave his girlfriend the pipe. I don't know, but he just decided to unload on Ian Wright. And Ian Wright did the right thing, outed him because this idiot has his real name on the Insta picture like that. Police have scooped him up, and yeah, he supposedly is about to get charged. On his Insta at the moment, I ain't gonna tell you what his Insta is. Go find it. I ain't gonna give him too much airtime. But on his Insta, he does say some shit like on his bio, he does say some shit like uh, he apologizes. He'll be doing a video presumably today to address the issue. He's insisted for no one to follow him because unfucking fortunately, all Ian Wright did by outing him was give this guy 4,000 followers because people are fucking idiots. So 4,000 people decided, oh, I know, I'll follow him. The only good thing I would say is apparently, more in addition to his followers, he's also had a hell of a lot of abuse in his DMs. And so what he's basically said is that, listen, I will address it in a video tomorrow. I've not seen the video. I'm no interested in watching his face. I just hope his mate knows what happened and let's just say addresses it with him. I don't get it. Unfortunately, racism is just one of those things that will always exist. As a YouTuber, I've also experienced it many, many times. In life, I've experienced it many, many times. Unfortunately, it's just one of the things that's on us. It's just one of the things on the CV that we've, happened to just deal with. So it is what it is. It's not really a lot to say. Of course, I condemn it. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think it's anything that's ever going to go away. People are always going to seek attention. Hurt people, and yeah, it is what it is. From my perspective, I don't give people like that airtime. And if you're racist to me, it's a straight block. I don't give you airtime. I don't promote you. I won't bring attention to you. It'll just be a quiet block. And that's a lot of the reason that I have mods in the chat because the moderators that I have in the chat generally understand the way I work. Generally, it's a timeout if someone's just being rude or someone's spamming. But if someone is just being racist or abusive, not just to me, but to anyone in the chat, block these motherfuckers. Block them. I don't care who it is. So it is what it is. I think this is a compliment. It doesn't read like one. I've come to understand how simple you are. Africans, I tell you, I know what he's trying to say. It just doesn't read well. Come to know how simple you are. And appreciate you. Thank you. Even though it doesn't read well, I know what you're trying to say. All right, quick questions, guys. Let's go. Let's keep it going. Like the lady says, please do smash those likes. Chig, would I take Alcantara brothers, Thiago and Rafinha? Are those the young? Those are the young black guys, aren't they? They're both black, aren't? I mean, obviously they're brothers, but I think that's what you're talking about. Let me know if I'm right. Like my man says, let's keep that up for a little while. Combat show, link is in the description. Unfortunately, my partner spelled combat right here. We've spelled it wrong deliberately on our channel, so make sure you put a K for combat, not a C, like my guy. Oh, okay. I see what you said. Any kind of combat sport, and then spelled it the right way. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. I keep being asked about this guy now. Thiago Almada, absolutely. I like him a lot. I did a quick, I won't say review, but I gave my comments on him 2 days ago. Kind of reminds me of a mini Alexis Sanchez. Looks like a better passer than Sanchez, to be fair. He likes a pass. I do like him. Seems to have good talent. I would get him. I did hear a rumor that Man United are trying to sabotage the deal, though. They've registered a £16 million interest in the same player. You'd like to think that if we put up the money, that Edu should have the relationship to get that deal over the line. But you never know. Man United are challenging it. Who would you be supporting in the Bundesliga? As much as I cannot stand having something in common with a certain YouTuber, in all honesty, it's probably Dortmund. I'm going to leave that for you to figure out who I'm in, but yes, Dortmund is probably the team I like. Big up Chig. Chig, will I be doing a Bundesliga watch along? I could do. I do think every man and his dog will be doing a Bundesliga watch along. Tempted. I am tempted. It really depends on what I'm doing on what I'm doing on Saturday, but it's very possible. Yeah, very, very possible. Ben, you are correct. Support Chin. Yes, please. Yes, please. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? I'll go to quarter past. It's 10:07 now. Let's go to quarter past. Quarter past. Bang out some questions for me. We'll do a little quick Q&A right now. Any questions you like? Anything you want to ask? Chig, do you think Jonathan David could become a top scorer in the Premier League? Well, he's definitely a goal scorer. This is why, for me, I don't necessarily discount anybody if they're a goal scorer. You know, I don't care what level it is. I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, people want this Edouard guy," but he's only scored it at Celtic. Celtic is a different league. But I will say this for the Scottish League: it's physical. At the very least, it's physical. And he'll be used to the weather, which you guys might laugh at. It's a shock to some of these players, the weather. So for me, that would still be the person I'd go for. No disrespect, Elliot, because I know you're Canadian. I have nothing against Canadians. I quite like Jonathan David, don't get me wrong. Do I think he has the potential? Who knows? Honestly, I don't think anyone can say that with any certainty. But he is a goal scorer, and he's someone that gets a hell of a lot of assists. And actually, I like that more than just being a goal scorer. If you're someone who has an understanding of not only scoring goals, but also when to not score goals and when to pass the ball, actually, I like that more. I like that more. Now, that might be unusual because I've always told you guys that I like selfish strikers. And I do, but I also think that all players should be a team player to a certain degree. And I think there's no point that if you're at a crap angle and you see, I don't care if it's a Bukayo Saka, I don't care if it's anything made than Niles, and they're in a better position to stroke the ball home, I want you to pass that ball straight up. So, yeah. Sorry. Lots of questions coming in now. God, good guys. I like when you like this. This is the kind of thing that makes me do OT. Guna Eagle Eye, are Chelsea now London's bigger club now? They're London's best club. I'll put it that way. They're London's best club. Chig, did you see the 89 documentary? Yeah, the DVD's over there. I didn't need to see it on Sky. I know you guys score it on Sky. My DVD's over there. I've already got it. What do I know about George Lewis? Nothing. The same as everyone else. He's a very, very raw talent. But lots of people think he has the potential to make it. He's got a lot of tricks. He's hella quick. But Arsenal are signing him not to be in the first team. Arsenal are signing him almost as a Saka replacement, I guess, in terms of the under 23 squad. They're signing him to play in the under 23s. He plays on the right hand side. He's 19 years old. That's pretty much all I know. Oh, and he was born. I think he was born in Africa, but now represents Norway because he grew up in Norway. I know he wasn't born in Norway. Let's put it that way. Let me just in case I got that wrong. In your opinion, do you think the season? I'm always asked this every single day. In all honesty, I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think the league, understandably, are desperate for it to go through. Today, I heard that Germany obviously relaxed their lockdown laws, and supposedly they've had a massive spike, in cases. So you can see why people are wary. On the flip side, my combat show partner Ola, me and him watched UFC. I thought they handled the event perfectly. What they essentially did was that they had a testing scheme where they brought all the fighters that are going to fight on the card, all their trainers, all their handlers, all their corner men and women, brought them through, tested them. They were cleared positive or negative. If they were clear, they'd take them through the show. Everyone was expected to wear masks. Everyone was expected to wear gloves. It could be a very real possibility that lots of players will be asked to wear gloves. You never know. You never know. I would imagine that the players would have to be tested every single week. I would imagine. I would also imagine that all the stadium staff, all our team people, it would almost be the bare necessity, almost like in the way UFC was, where it was just the absolute necessary people that had to be there. So if you didn't need more than one person, like if you needed 2, 3 cornermen, and you can cope with 2, 3, 4 men instead of a whole entourage. Forget the entourage. Just bring your 2, 3 people. You know, and I think that's probably the only way you can do it. And then I think ultimately we can second guess this back and forth all day long until these lot set a date. Like they say it's the first at the moment, it wouldn't surprise if they push it back further, right? Set a date. So if it's the 1st of June, all right, okay. And then they just have to take a risk. They have to take a risk. It is what it is. And then they're going to have to get the players and reassure them because these players, they need their head in the game. Because, you know, a lot of them might be a bit wary of tackling people just in case they catch something. You never know. So it's going to come to testing these players every single week in order to just get this thing done. I'm sure there'll be a close eye on the way the Bundesliga's ran this weekend and how they do things and how they manage things, and where the Premier League can learn from that. But yeah, we just got to wait and see. I love where Ola just flat out says it how it is. Are you male or female? Uh, Good at Eagle Eye. Why would you consider George Graham superior manager to Arsene Wenger? I would put them alongside each other, to be honest. I'd put them alongside each other. Both of them achieved domestic success. You could argue that a lot of Arsene Wenger's initial success came off what George built. And I certainly would, I'm in that camp. So I put them alongside each other. So I don't know where you got that. I put George Graham above Arsene Wenger. It's quite an accusation, Joseph, but okay. Uh, any other questions? Chig, would you take Santi Cazorla back at Arsenal as a player or a coach? To be fair, you can probably still show them a thing or two as a player. 1,000% as a coach. 1,000%. Oh my gosh. Could you just imagine someone like an Emil Smith Rowe, um, a Joe Willock, an Ainsley Maitland-Niles? They'd get so much out of that. They'd get so much. Quite frankly, so will Granit Xhaka. Just get so much out of learning from Santi for a little bit. 100%, 100%. And by the way, I'm not bringing him back necessarily because he's an Arsenal favourite. I just think you could teach these motherfuckers a thing or two. Sorry, I know Akane doesn't like me swearing, but you got to say it how it is. Uh, and there you go. And there you go. You said in another stream with Lee, I thought it'd be an interesting question. No, I didn't say in another. You heard Lee say that he thought that George Graham over Arsene Wenger. You've never heard me say that. I think that both of them are equal, and lots of people don't understand why I say that. Because I think George Graham has had a lot of success that people sleep on, and I think a lot of Arsene Wenger's initial success came off the back of what George Graham built, namely that back five. This is true. This is true. Okay. Yes, please do fire that like button. You guys were slipping yesterday, but I need my light squad to do me a favor and drill that like button. Drill it hard as well. Hard. Um, how old are you, and when did you start supporting Arsenal? 35, and I started supporting Arsenal. Yeah, I would say 35 years ago. My mum didn't give me a choice. She didn't give me a choice. On hindsight, I wish I supported United. I wish I was if I was closer to my dad, I think I would have supported United, and I would have had a lot less stress. So at least I would have had a team that would have given me lots of initial success that I could take their bullshit now. Arsenal have not given me long enough success to withstand this bullshit right now. In addition to the fact that I live in North London, I had no choice. I went supporting them lot. And red is my favorite color. That's legitimate. That is legitimate. Purple is my second favorite color. Red is my favorite color. Thoughts on Oshiman? I like him. Got a lot of high hopes for him from a Nigerian perspective. I think this question was given to me yesterday, about whether I'm very excited by the talent that's coming through at a Nigerian level. Absolutely. I think we've got a good crop of kids coming through. I compared it to Belgium only from the sense of I feel like we've started to develop a really good team in terms of our midfield is starting to get sorted. We've got a couple of wingers that I think could do something, especially if Saka decides to represent us. We've got a couple of strikers now that we could do something with. My only concern is that defense. Our defense is always our Achilles heel. That's the part I'm worried about. And you could argue with Belgium that was their Achilles heel as well. Santi was better than Bergkamp. All right, so you must be very young. You must be super young to say something so silly. Either that or you're trolling. Either that or you're trolling. But yeah, to answer your question, I think he's going to be very good. Very good. Who is my favorite Arsenal player? I mentioned this earlier. Kanu is my favorite Arsenal player of all time. Currently, I don't really have one. Ironically, Santi was probably the last one that I really liked. Like I really, really liked. Uh, could be good. My only concern is this Icardi situation is, his wife and his general personal situation. If you could get that under control, I'd sign him, 100%. But talent-wise, just purely on talent, I'd sign him. Chig, who are your realistic signings of the summer? I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna put Partey in there. Hate on me if you want to. Until I hear that this boy is not interested in move to Arsenal, I'm going to put him in a realistic signing because he's not a crazy price, and it is possible. So I'm going to put Partey in there. I'm going to put Disasi in there. Realistic signings. If we spend money on Partey, I can't see us spending money on Abour, but I'd love to get Abour. Sly, is that his name? The 18-year-old talented guy from not RB Leipzig, the other Red Bull team. RB Salzburg, is that their name? Oh, he's so good. He's only 20 million euros. Trying to think of anything else. Edouard. I think this is realistic. I actually think the Edouard one is more realistic than the Jonathan David one. Jonathan David has a lot of people on him. Lots of people on him. Aguero or Ian Wright. I love Ian Wright. I love Ian Wright. Aguero is one of the Premier League's best. Bergkamp was never overrated. I don't want to even scroll up and see. I don't want to see his message and says Bergkamp was overrated because I'll just get mad. I don't want to see it. I just get mad. I don't want to see it. Wagwan, Arsenal 942. It's been a while. I hope you're well. Oh my! I almost feel to time you out. I almost feel to time you out for saying something so silly. I almost feel to time you out for that. Straight up. You need 5 minutes to reflect on that. Hey, I almost feel to. Um, don't all Man United fans live in London? Uh, come on, guys, keep it going, keep it moving, keep it moving. You're doing some real OTOT. People laugh at this on the playback. Every time I say, oh, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes later, they still notice I've got 10 more minutes to go. I will go at 10:30. I will definitely go in 7 minutes. Um, Partey, Santi is better than Bergkamp. What are you smoking? You lot tell him because I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want to get emotional, get mad. Someone's trying to trigger me. I don't want to do it. I used to love Santi and Rosicky. I liked Rosicky. I know he didn't play a lot of games because he was injured. I liked him as a talent. Um, and I think it's a shame for him actually that he didn't go on and achieve the real success that I hoped his talent would bring. I know a lot of people think that he's overrated. Some people don't understand what I like him, but I always liked Rosicky. Always did. I always did. Me and Lee have had a few conversations about this before because he doesn't get the Rosicky loving, but I do. I like him. I like him. I'm Dortmund all day, Capone. Where have you been, brother? How you been? My favorite player is none other than Nicholas Bomba Pepe. Cardi is a better goal scorer than Lacazette. Fair play. Fair play. Lindbergh Camp, I like a name. I like Lindbergh Camp's name as well. Mikel and Moses are Nigeria legends. Yeah, I'm not huge fans of both of them. Particularly Mikel. I've never liked him. Never liked him. Even before he joined Chelsea. Never understood it. Never got what was so great about him. Arsenal realistic signing will be Longstaff. God forbid. Bite your tongue. Mr. Kennedy. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing some old names in here now. Where you been, brother? It's been a couple of weeks at least. Chick, do you believe that Arteta can attract the top players to come to Arsenal? Well, so it's funny. It's funny you should say that. So again, another one of the rumors is that Partey likes the idea of playing for Arteta because Arteta, quite frankly, plays in his position or played in his position. So if he is this tactical genius that people make out, and listen, people, I'm not saying he isn't because people misread my Arteta critique. Just because I'm not swanning at Arteta does not mean that I think this guy will fail or that I want him to fail or any of the above. I want him to do well. And I will accept, I think there are little things here and there that have improved. I would also like to remind people we are still ninth. It is okay to have the occasional doubt. I still think, even if Arteta goes on and actually wins a major trophy, and people go, see, chick, see, he won something. You ain't seen nothing. I've always said the same thing. For me, it is a ridiculous, crazy risk to put such a big club in the hands of someone who is essentially a novice. Now, yes, he's doing great so far. He's doing as good as he could realistically do with this piece of trash. And like I've always said, for me, it's not a case of backing him. I back Arsenal. Full stop. He's also included in that process. So, I think Claude said that today on AFTV. I've said that for a long time, by the way. I back Arsenal. So ultimately, as the head coach of Arsenal, I want him to do well. But he's not showing me he's the Messiah. But at the same time, I'm also not against him. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Let's see. This was never going to be an overnight job. I told people this when Wenger left. This was going to be a huge mess to sort out. And it's taken some time to sort out. I'm hoping we eventually get it going. I still think until the likes of certain players go, I still think Arteta's still got an impossible job in his hands. But let's see. All right, 2 more minutes. Let me quickly scan through. I think Asfar is trolling, guys. So don't get into too much of a back and forth with him. I think he's trolling. To say something so wild. And I love Santi, but come the heck on. Saying Bergkamp is overrated. Honestly, any mod wants to time it out right about now. I won't criticize you. Let's put it that way. Chig, did you watch Filthy today? Yes, I did. It was wild, especially the last hour. Was gosh, gosh damn. Look at TMI. What the heck? I love that show. The minute if I'm ever asked to go on that show, Capone, I'll go on it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Them lot look jokes. Prime Perez or Prime Overmars? Loved Overmars. It's got to be Perez. It's got to be Perez. Would I be happy if Sangara signed for Arsenal? Yep. Even as much as I want Partey, if we ended up signing Sangara instead, I'd be happy with that. All right. 2 more questions and I'm out. 2 more and I'm out. Two more questions, I'm out. Chig, watch 4 o'clock club. Okay, we'll do. Why do people think just because you're skeptical about manager, you don't support and back them? And there you go. And there you go. Because if you ask a question, it means you don't support them. That's the mentality of the internet. Yeah. Also, you're not there are rules of the internet. You're not allowed to change your mind. You're not allowed to be skeptical or question anything. You have to always be positive or you're seen as a negative influence. I'll look into that, Hacks. I'll look into that. I don't doubt you. I'll look into that though. And I will make sure I shout you out tomorrow. I was asked this earlier. Dortmund. Dortmund. Where's your link to your UFC channel? I guarantee it's there, Evan. It should be. I think it's the first or second link. It should say Chig and Ola next to it, but that's the link. Make sure you subscribe to that. We picked up a gang of subscribers over the weekend. I hope we continue doing that. Who is better, Alves or Lam? I was a big Lam guy. I was a big Lam guy. All right, I am out of here, man. That's at least 3 questions I've done. So make sure you guys stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be back again tomorrow. I am not sure what time. My only aim is to avoid Arsenal Fan TV because I noticed yesterday me and Arsenal Fan TV went head to head. And then I had people coming on the channel going, "Oh, Lee's on Arsenal Fan TV." I'm like, bruh, I'm just finishing here. Come on. I think it was Jahid that did that. I was like, oh, great. So I try to avoid them guys. So yeah, it will either be similar sort of time or it'll be 7:30-ish. So it'll be one of the two. But I'll let you know, guys know. It'll be another Eagle Eye. You know how we do. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are staying safe. And yes, if you're in the UK, technically you're allowed to go out a little bit longer. My advice is just be chill, man. Relax. I want a haircut, guys. I want one so bad. Please, just allow this sunbathing thing. Allow it. Just stay at home. Let's ride this out for a bit longer so I can get a trim. It's peak times. But anyway, I am up out of here, guys. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Peace.